This is the Iceman John Bailey coming at you from Bucks and Beer TV. Just to give you a little tip on some turkey hunting. A lot of guys, when they go out in the woods, looking for turkey, they complicate it, and they try to, just do all types of fancy calling. One thing about myself, I'm not an expert caller. I know that by far, but I've learned how to do a mating yelp. I apologize. I don't even have a call with me. I didn't even think I was going to be doing a video or anything. But what you want to do is you want to start out with your yelping. I like to use a slate or glass call, mouth call sometime, but slate or glass call, I prefer those two calls over the rest of the calls. But anyway, you want to yelp. Start off kind of slow, yelping, and then increase it as you're going through the cadence. In the middle, like sort of a fast yelp, and then back down to a slow yelp. Um, Going back to my hunt on this past Monday, I got set up in a food plot. I had out four decoys. I had out two jakes and two hens. I had a breeding hen and jake combo. Then I had a feeding hen and jake combo. One thing I've tried, some other guys do different, but every hunter is different. So what I like to do is when you're running and gunning, most of the time, you want to find a gobbler that's going to be responding to your yelping. That's when I, like to run and gun when I get a response from a gobbler. But if I'm not getting any response from a gobbler, I'll just go ahead and set up in an area where I know there's some turkey, and I'll put out like four decoys because, four decoys is better than two. Mainly when you're not getting any response from any bird, they can actually see those decoys even better. But if you got some hot gobblers, just ready to mate, then I would go with two decoys. Definitely a mating hen and jake combo. That works really well. But like I said, I've learned, I haven't been turkey hunting that long, but I just use my wood skills, from bow hunting for 31 years, and I kind of just transition over to turkey, and the only thing I've learned about a turkey, if you can beat their eyesight, then you got a chance to harvest that bird, But like I said, you want to go where the turkeys are, food plots, pine thickets, areas where they're roosting at. Cameras are great, put out some corn early in the season, put out, and put out a food plot. I'm sorry, put out a time lapse camera. Put out a time lapse camera, and that'll definitely help you pattern those turkeys, so you can get in the woods and try to harvest them. But like I said, I like to use that mating yelp. I use the mating yelp all season. Instead of using a lot of cutting and purring and clucking and and fly down cackles and all of that. That's fine. It all has everything has its place. But that mating yelp, you know, you can't beat that mating yelp. And that's what happened to me when I got in that food plot. I got set up about 11:40 that day, that morning rather, and I was just doing some mating yelps every 15 minutes, and then I would just shut up, wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't overcall, because you can overcall and mess yourself up. So I would just do a series of calls, maybe like a couple of minutes, or sometime just 30 seconds, on a mating call, and I would just stop. But 12:45, I did that mating call, and then I just quit. And not even thinking, I had two satellite gobblers came in from a backside. They came in from behind me, which there's a lot of gobblers to do. They came in from behind me, and they were only like 8 yards from me. Then I saw those decoys, then they went in, and quite nice. You see that I got them on photo, so I took them. It was a really good hunt. But if I had a got up and left, I wouldn't have never got those birds. And see, what's one thing about when you're hunting in a non-gobbling situation, you always want to make sure you're being patient. Don't run and gun if you're not hearing anything. Just set up somewhere, where there's birds, and just stay there for a while. Do a series of gobbles. You can even do a series of gobbles if you want to. Do a series of mating yelps. A little bit of clucking. I wouldn't do too many fancy things, but I guess main thing is, do whatever works for you. I like to just do that mating yelp, some clucks, and purr every now and then if they're coming in, you know, I kind of purr and calm them down a little bit. Um, but I found out that they're mating you up with your mating decoys. The jake and that hen, just, you know, I got the jake sitting right on top of that hen. You know, they came in and they was ready to fight. You know, and it worked really well. But I had to make sure I was being still, being careful, and being patient, because sometimes it takes an hour, you know, or longer for you to get something to come in, to, you know, even, you know, to come into your setup. But I try not to complicate things as a hunter. You know, I try to figure out, you know, where the birds are gonna, where they're roosting at, you know, and from between roosting and their final destination, because, you know, they're gonna travel from one area to the other. Mainly when they're looking for, you know, grubs, or, you know, anything, that they eat. So I've learned how to hunt those times by just being in the right place at the right time.